Today's lesson, 2.4, is on ratios and slopes. Today, you will learn that slope is a ratio that compares the change in y values to the change in x values. You will also connect the ratio that compares the change in y to the change in x to the explicit rule that explains the relationship between x and y, and to the slope of the line that passes through the ordered pair. Let's look at the started off on page 87. We're going to answer questions 1 and 2. Question 1 says, where have you heard the word slope before? What does it mean? Slope is often used to describe a hill or a ramp. Oftentimes, we discuss the slope of a hill or a ramp as being how steep it is. So slope also refers to steepness. Now think about in your everyday life where you would use steepness or slope. What are some real world examples? So let's look at question 2. For what object is there steepness or slope important? One thing that comes to my mind is the steepness or slope of a ski trail. We need to know the steepness or slope of a ski trail before we determine which trail is best for us to go down. Very steep roads are dangerous, so it's too difficult to go down steep slopes, so it's important for us to determine which one is best for us. Very steep roads are also dangerous, and large trucks are told to check their brakes before heading down them. So think about when you travel up and down a mountain. Also, wheelchair ramps can't be too steep or it's too difficult for a person to maneuver up. These are all ways that we use steepness or slope in real world. Let's continue to look on page 87. With your shoulder partner or on your own, I want you to look or analyze the rectangles on page 87 while answering question 1. If we look at our rectangles, question 1 says, A, sort the rectangles into 2 groups so that the rectangles in each group are similar. So let's start with group 1. And I'm going to start with rectangle A, and I'm going to find its similar rectangle. So I see that A has a relationship or a ratio of 9/6. If I look, 9/6 can simplify to 3/2. So I see that A relates to B, and B simplified to 3/2. And it also relates to G, because 6/4 simplifies to 3/2. So A, B, and G all have simplified ratios of 3/2. Alright, if we look at our second group, we're going to this time look at rectangle B. Rectangle B is an 8/6 ratio. If we simplify 8/6, that simplifies to a 4:3 ratio. So if we look at C, if we divide 6 by 4.5, that's also going to give us a 4:3 ratio. E would also match up, and F. So for 1A, we have now sorted our rectangles into 2 groups, A, B, and G, and then B, C, D, and F. they've asked us to explain why these rectangles are similar. The rectangles in each group are similar. There are many methods to determine this. For example, we could form a ratio of width to length. If we see that, then we see that the groups simplify to the same ratio, which shows us that they are similar. So again, groups A, B, and G, and groups B, C, E, and F. These are the rectangles that are grouped together because they are similar. Alright, so let's look on page 88. At the top of page 88, it says draw quadrant 1 of the coordinate plane on grid paper. So we have that in our notes now. It says draw similar rectangles A, B, and G on the grid. Place the rectangles with one vertex of the origin and the shorter side along the edge axis. So we're going to start with rectangle A. Rectangle A is 6 units by 9 units. So we would go over 6 units and up 9 units. This is rectangle A. Rectangle G is 4 units by 6 units. And rectangle G is 2 units by 3 units. So as you can see, we have drawn the 3 rectangles A, B, and G on our graph paper. And all of our rectangles have one vertex as the origin, so they all share 0, 0. Now let's look at 2A. It says pick a scale factor less than 1. Using the scale factor, determine the dimensions of a new rectangle that is similar to D. Add it to your graph and label it A. So we can use any unit that is less than 1. Let's use 1/4. So we're going to look at drawing a reduction. Since our scale factor is 1/4, what we're going to do is multiply our dimensions by 1/4 in order to get our new dimension. So we're using the dimension for rectangle D. So I'm going to multiply 1/4 times 2 and 1/4 times 3. 1/4 times 2 will give us 1/2 or 5/10 as a decimal. 1/4 times 3 will give us 3/4 or 7/500 as a decimal. For this problem, I'm going to use the decimals because I know I have to add it to my graph and label it. So the dimensions are 5/10 by 7/500. Alright, so I would go over 5/10, up 7/500, so we're a little halfway in between 0 and 1, and almost at 1. I would draw my new rectangle, and we label this rectangle A. For part B, we are going to use the dimensions of another similar rectangle, and we're going to add it to our graph and label it. Now you can use any other similar rectangle relationship. Just keep in mind that our ratio for all of these is looking like a 2:3 ratio. So, if we were to give them another set of dimensions, one that we could use is an 8 by 12 enlargement that we have just graphed, we label I. Now we're going to write a ratio that compares the length, which is Y, to the width, which is X. So again, our ratio now is going to be written as a comparison of length, which is Y, to width, which is X. So if we look at our original rectangle A, had the dimensions of 9/6. Rectangle B was 6/4. And rectangle D was 3/2. And if we look, 9/6 and 6/4 both simplify to a 3:2 ratio. So what we notice is that all three of these ratios are the same when they're simplified, which means that each of our rectangles is similar. Some are enlargements and some are reductions from the original figure. Here we have written a comparison of Y over X, or length over width. Alright, let's continue. We're going to use the graph that we just created, and this time what I need you to do is go ahead and draw a diagonal from the origin to the opposite vertex of each rectangle. Use the coordinates of points on this line to complete the table. So now we're going to complete the table based on the dimensions that we just created when we drew the line or drew the diagonal from the origin to the opposite vertex of each rectangle. So looking on page 88 and continuing with our table, let's fill it in. We see that at 0 width, so X was at 0, Y was also at 0. That's our origin. When X was 1, Y is 1.5. When X is 2, Y is 3. When X is 3, Y is 4.5. When X is 4, Y is 6. When X is 5, Y is 7.5. And when X is 6, Y is 9. So now we've used the coordinates of points on the line to complete our table. Look at B. Are the pairs of X values and Y values in the table related to the dimensions of the rectangle? 3 of the X and Y pairs in the table are the coordinates of the top right corner of the three rectangles on the diagonal line. So again, 3 of the XY pairs in the table are the coordinates of the top right corner of the 3 rectangles on the diagonal line that it goes through. So you should see, based on the 3 rectangles that we graphed, the 3 rectangles that we're talking about are the 2 to 3, or 3 to 2, 6 to 4, and 9 to 6. Those are the 3 that we have